it's almost like a novelty thing almost where it's like, how big do you want your ball sack?
Yeah,
you know?
or how small do you want to let it go?
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
the girls be like, "Damn, you got kind of small nuts."
Have they said that to you?
I mean, because I'll bring it up, and then they'll agree. And then usually they don't
just like
say
proactively, like, by the way, my nuts are pretty small.
No, I'll just joke about it,
okay.
you know, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, you know."
Sometimes I've never like brought it up, but sometimes I wonder. I'm like, this is probably a pretty like they're probably like, what the is going on?
I just, nuts never really.
No, fortunately, it's not like a big deal, but it's like sometimes they're so like shrunken, and this might sound up to people who don't do gear, that it like almost like goes into your body for a sec, and that's a bad scenario. Where like you're like, did I just lose my left nut? Oh, by the way, laser hair removal for guys on gear. Is it permanent, or do you have to keep getting sessions and shit?
Bro, it is, for me, as a fucking part Armenian fucking juice monkey, it is absolutely not feasible. I mean, here's the problem. It's the best option.
Yeah. Like,
I bought 5 machines.
I used to like nair and like shave. Like the process is time consuming in itself.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the process to shave, first of all, it takes a lot of time to shave your fucking body. You can't even reach your goddamn back, right? So you got to have a chick shave. Then you got this full body 5 o'clock shadow by tomorrow or the next day, right? So then you're fucking prickly. So it's like, that's not really like a great alternative. Then waxing fucking sucks ass. You have to not only have to let the hair grow out to a length, but then it's like you get these ingrown hairs, all these fucking, bumps, what irritates your skin. So that sucks, and it's painful as fuck.
Have you ever had the ball sack nair chemical burn?
No,
Ruthless.
Man. No,
Ruthless.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's not like there's a warning. Actually, maybe there's a warning on the bottle that says don't apply it to privates, but at the time you're like, well, I've covered everywhere else, and like I'm trying to be time efficient here, so.
Yeah, balls are a pain in the ass, man, because like it's like so delicate to shave them.
Yeah, you feel like a fucking like surgeon while you're in there. You're just like,
I just trim, man. I just try. I get like a one of those like the neck shavers that the barbers use. Yeah. And then I just try and trim. I also the laser works good on the nutsack.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You don't worry, but like I wouldn't know actually, to be honest, and you think I would, like what effect that might have on your like ball health, like a laser right on it.
My nuts are about the size of that.
You don't use HCG with your test?
I actually have been shooting it, It's like I'm like torn because like I do like the fact that when you're not using it, you're like sterile. And I also kind of break out a little bit from HCG sometimes, and it aromatizes a little bit. So it's like, I don't know. I do it, but I don't know, man.
It's not like you need it ultimately, and like it's almost like a novelty thing almost, where it's like, how big do you want your ball sack?
Yeah, or how small do you want to let it go?
Yeah,
Sometimes the girls be like, "Damn, you got kind of small nuts."
Have they said that to you?
I mean, because I'll bring it up, and then they'll agree. And then usually they don't just like
proactively, like, by the way, my nuts are pretty fucking small.
No, I'll just joke about it, and then they'll be like, "Yeah,
Sometimes I've never like brought it up, but sometimes I wonder. I'm like, this is probably a pretty like they're probably like, what the fuck's going on?
I just, nuts never really.
No, fortunately, it's not like a big deal, but it's like sometimes they're so like shrunken, and this might sound fucked up to people who don't do gear, that it like almost like goes into your body for a sec, and that's a bad scenario. Where like you're like, did I just lose my left nut into my fucking like? And you have to like pop it back out almost.
I've never had that, but I've had a pretty small, dude, where it's just like like a fucking coin purse.
Oh yeah. The HCG thing is I don't know.
Or Clomid, I think you can take.
Yeah. The porn star stacks are pretty different than you're probably, I don't know, most people are probably used to hearing. I'm surprised you didn't use much like different drugs to kind of like, I don't know, support your sex escapades. Because like there's a lot of drugs you could have used that you didn't. Like your just Cialis test. Like there's shit you could have used to like reduce your refractory period when you were like trying to like hit like a new goal of like, I don't know, like beat 9 in a day and try and get that 10.
Yeah, I don't, and it's crazy because I did it with condoms too, which is really fucking nuts. But with
kudos for fucking sticking with that too.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal, dude. If you just do it every time,
I guess.
Like recently, I've been a fucking total scumbag. I haven't used a fucking, but like it's either all or nothing. Like you just use them every fucking time, and then you don't really remember.
I think a lot of guys don't realize they're like, why do I have ED when I fuck? Like because they're first of all the condom. If you're not used to it, obviously difficult to deal with to begin with, but a lot of guys are so used to yanking it watching porn with like this hyper aggressive like vice grip, and then they're in a pussy with a condom, and they're going limp, and they're like wondering what's wrong with me, you know, and they think it's something that's the chick. They get insecure about it too, and then they think there's something wrong with them. Is like, am my pussy too loose or what's going on? And it like fucks up relationships. I feel like guys watching porn just like yanking it too much.
Yeah, no, I could see that. And then they're probably just banging the same chick. I don't know, man. For some reason, I was just lucky in that category. I just always was pretty. I mean, granted, you know, obviously in the book I talk about, you know, you're gonna have fucking your embarrassing fucking moments. Yeah. And the funny thing for me is, a lot of times I'd have my embarrassing moments was directly correlated with the fucking girls that I really liked. You know, like the ones that I really liked, I would fuck up. But yeah, I think a lot of it's in your head, you know. And for me, like for so much of it, the time, I just had so much abundance that I didn't care that much. And since there wasn't, and also like I was taking Cialis, I'm like, oh, I gotta see. It just wasn't even like a thought that like my dick wasn't gonna work, because I'm like fucking pounding 20 milligrams of fucking Cialis. So I'm like, of course my dick's gonna work. Like, and so I think like when you go in and you're like worried about it, like for instance, I watched your goddamn fucking Deca video the other day, and I fucking couldn't keep my dick hard because I'm like, fuck, I just shoot some Deca. But for 3 months I took Deca and I never had a fucking issue. I watched your fucking video and then it's in my mind. Yeah. And for the first time in like 3 months, I fucking couldn't keep my dick hard. I was like, what the fuck, man?
My bad, dude.
No, I'm telling you, it's psychological, dude. I really think. I mean, not that Deca doesn't maybe have an effect, but like.
No, there's literally a thing called Deca Dick that's like named after it.
But I was good for like 3 months on it, and then all of a sudden I watched that video, and like the very next day I'm like, funny. Fuck, man.
The algorithm knows you're on Deca, dude.
That was funny. I hadn't taken it since the military. I actually just recently.
Does your doctor suggest adding it to your HRT kind of for like joint support and shit?
No, somebody sent it to me. So there was this.
Somebody? Like I would hope somebody who gets your address that sends you Deca.
It's funny. No, it was like a clinic. So basically, it's, I forget what it's called, but they basically do like the peptides. They do the HRT, all that shit. And so they sent me out a bunch of stuff. Like I just shot this MOTS-C stuff, so I'll see what that does. And then I tried the IP Moreland, whatever that Tessamorelin, whatever the fuck that was for the HGH. And then I tried the Melatan 2, which
This is the first time you tried it?
Yeah, I hated it, dude. Bro, I looked like a fucking demon, dude. My whole fucking face like beat red. Like I gave it to a couple chicks and they liked it and like seemed like they wanted to fuck a lot on it.
It's a really interesting drug actually. I'm surprised you never heard of it.